Alright guys, let's have a look at this question here. It says the fourth term of a geometric sequence is 48. So T4 is 48. The eighth term of the same sequence is 3 over 16. So T8 is 3 over 16. Find the possible values of the common ratio, so find R, and the corresponding first terms, which is A. Okay, so we know that the general equation for finding any term in a geometric sequence is AR to the power of n minus 1, where n is the term number and A is the first term of the sequence and R is the common ratio. So at this stage we've got two unknowns. The R is missing and the A is missing. So this is going to be a simultaneous equation sort of situation. Anytime you've got two unknowns, you are up for solving the question simultaneously. So let's see if we can get our two equations and start solving this. Let's start with what we were given first. That T4, which is 48, will form an equation, which is AR to the power of n minus 1. N in this case is 4, so 4 minus 1 is 3. So therefore, AR cubed equals to 48 will be our first equation. Box it, call it equation 1. The second equation will come from T8. T8, which is 3 over 16, will be AR to the power of 8 minus 1, which is 7. So AR to the power of 7 is 3 over 16. Box that, call that equation 2. So now we've got to isolate either A or R and try to plug it into the other equation. It seems easier to take equation 1 and manipulate it so that A is alone. In order to get A alone, we divide both sides by R cubed. That will give us 48 over R cubed. And I'm going to box that, call that equation 3 because it's now a modified version of equation 1. And I'm going to say substitute equation 3 into equation 2. And that is going to give us so instead of this A here, we're going to write 48 over R cubed, which we got from equation 3. R to the power of 7 equals to 3 over 16. Let's go ahead and solve this and see what we get. So this becomes 48R to the power of 7 over R cubed equals to 3 over 16. This will cancel with 3 of those. So as we know, when we have something like this and it's divided by something like this, when the bases are the same and you're dividing those numbers, the powers will be minused. So 7 minus 3 is 4. And so that's why we ended up with that. Just go ahead and rub that out, give us some space. And so 48R to the power of 4 equals to 3 over 16. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try and isolate R. So we're going to divide both sides by 48. So we've got 3 over 16 divided by 48. So that gives us R to the power of 4 as being equal to 16. Calculating that, we get 1 over 256. And so now what we need to do is we need to take this type of root from both sides in order to cancel that power of 4 and to get R alone. But because this is an even type of root, you have to write plus or minus. We're going to be getting two answers from that. And so that's going to give me R equals to a positive answer, or R equals to a negative. Okay, so that's going to give me R equals positive 1/4, or R equals to negative 1/4. And so now we can box those. I'm going to call that equation 4, and I'm going to call that equation 5. So sub 4 into equation 3, because A is already isolated for us, we need to find A. A equals to 48 over R cubed. That equals to 3,072. And move this to the other side here, give us some more space. When we sub equation 5 into equation 3, we get A equals to 48 over minus 1/4 all cubed, which corresponds to minus 3072. And so what this means is if R is positive 1/4, A is positive 3072, and if R is negative 1/4, then A will be negative 3072, and that will give you your 3 marks.